Have you ever wondered why some couples seem deeply connected even after years together, while others slowly drift apart despite genuinely loving each other? Most people assume a healthy and satisfying sex life is simply about chemistry, that if two people are attracted to each other, everything else will naturally fall into place. But after years of listening to relationship experts, studying healthy relationship patterns, and observing the challenges many couples commonly face, one truth continues to stand out. Lasting intimacy is rarely built on attraction alone. It's built on emotional safety, honest communication, trust, affection, and the willingness to understand each other beyond the surface. If those foundations are weak, even the strongest attraction can begin to fade over time. Hi, I'm Miley, and welcome to the channel. If you've ever felt confused about why intimacy changes in a relationship, wondered how to reconnect with your partner, or simply wanted to build a relationship that feels emotionally and physically fulfilling for both of you, then you're in exactly the right place. In today's video, we're going to explore how to build a healthy and satisfying sex life with your partner in a way that strengthens your emotional bond, instead of creating pressure, fear, or misunderstanding. Throughout my work as a relationship educator, one of the most common patterns I've seen discussed is that couples often focus on what happens in private, without first understanding what happens emotionally throughout the rest of their relationship. The conversations you avoid, the appreciation you forget to express, the trust you slowly build, or slowly lose, can all influence how connected you feel. That's why this conversation isn't just about intimacy. It's about creating a relationship where both people feel valued, respected, desired, and emotionally secure. And I encourage you to stay with me until the very end, because the last section often surprises people. It's a perspective that can completely change the way you think about intimacy, and for many viewers, it becomes the one idea they remember long after the video ends. If you're ready to build a stronger, healthier, and more meaningful connection with your partner, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our community, because every video is designed to help you create relationships that don't just last, they truly thrive. Emotional connection comes before physical connection. If there's one lesson that stands out in every healthy and fulfilling relationship, it's this. Intimacy doesn't truly begin in the bedroom, it begins in the heart. Many people spend years trying to improve their physical connection, without realizing that the strongest desire is often created long before two people are ever alone together. Think about the moments when you feel most drawn to someone you love. It's rarely because of a grand gesture or perfect timing. It's because they made you feel seen. They listened without rushing you. They reached for your hand without expecting anything in return. They looked into your eyes with genuine warmth. Those seemingly ordinary moments quietly build something extraordinary. Emotional connection is what transforms affection into passion and closeness into lasting intimacy. When your partner feels emotionally safe, appreciated, and accepted for who they are, love naturally becomes easier to express in every form. Healthy intimacy isn't about impressing each other. It isn't about comparison, performance, or trying to meet unrealistic expectations created by movies or social media. It's about creating an environment where both people feel comfortable being vulnerable. The truth is, vulnerability is incredibly romantic because it says, "I trust you enough to let you see the real me." And when two people offer each other that kind of trust, they create a bond that grows stronger with time instead of fading. One of the most beautiful things about love is that emotional closeness creates anticipation. A thoughtful text during the day, a lingering hug before leaving for work, genuine appreciation after a long day, or simply asking, "How are you really feeling today?" may seem small, but these moments remind your partner that they matter. They keep the relationship emotionally alive. Couples who continue dating each other even after years together often discover that romance isn't something you find, it's something you create every single day. The more emotionally connected you become, the more natural physical intimacy feels, because it becomes an extension of love, rather than a replacement for it. So before asking how to build a satisfying sex life, ask yourself something even more important. Does my partner feel emotionally loved, emotionally safe, and emotionally understood when they're with me? Because when the heart feels secure, intimacy has the opportunity to flourish in ways that no technique or advice alone could ever accomplish. The power of honest conversations about intimacy. Many men grow up believing that if their partner truly loves them, she should automatically understand what they need without a conversation ever taking place. Unfortunately, that's one of the fastest ways to create distance in a relationship. Passion doesn't survive on assumptions, it grows through communication. The couples who enjoy the deepest and most satisfying intimate lives aren't necessarily the most attractive or the most experienced. They're often the ones who have learned how to talk honestly without making each other feel criticized, rejected, or embarrassed. If you want your relationship to become more passionate, start by becoming a better listener. Ask your partner what makes her feel emotionally close to you. Pay attention when she shares her thoughts instead of preparing your next response. Make her feel like her feelings are just as important as your own. When a woman feels emotionally heard, she often becomes more open, affectionate, and receptive because she no longer feels like she's carrying her emotions alone. Real intimacy becomes much more exciting when both people feel free to express their desires, preferences, boundaries, and needs without fear of judgment. This isn't about having difficult conversations every day. It's about creating a relationship where honesty feels safe. Sometimes the most attractive thing a man can do isn't saying the perfect words. It's creating a space where his partner feels comfortable saying hers. Many relationships lose their spark because silence slowly replaces curiosity. Couples stop asking questions. They stop flirting. They stop expressing appreciation. They assume yesterday's connection will carry tomorrow's passion. But love doesn't work that way. Romance grows through intention. Attraction grows through emotional presence. Desire often grows when two people continue discovering each other, instead of believing they've already learned everything there is to know. If you want your partner to crave your presence, don't focus only on being physically attractive. Become emotionally attractive as well. Be the man she feels comfortable laughing with, confiding in, and dreaming beside. Those emotional moments often create anticipation that carries naturally into physical closeness, making intimacy feel less like a routine and more like a meaningful expression of love. So here's something worth thinking about. If communication creates emotional closeness, then what quietly destroys desire between two people who still love each other? Building trust, safety, and desire over time. If you were paying close attention to the last section, you already know the answer. What quietly destroys desire between two people who still love each other isn't always a lack of attraction. More often, it's the gradual loss of emotional trust. This doesn't usually happen overnight. It happens through small disappointments that are never repaired, conversations that are avoided instead of resolved, affection that slowly becomes routine, and moments where one partner begins to feel taken for granted. Many men believe desire disappears because the relationship has become too familiar. In reality, familiarity isn't the enemy, emotional disconnection is. When your partner no longer feels emotionally secure, even genuine love can struggle to translate into closeness. Trust is one of the most attractive qualities a man can build, because it creates an environment where both partners feel comfortable being completely themselves. That sense of safety allows affection, romance, and physical intimacy to become natural expressions of the relationship rather than obligations. Think about the beginning of your relationship. You were curious about each other. You paid attention to the little details. You looked forward to every conversation and every opportunity to spend time together. You made each other feel special without even trying. The good news is that those feelings don't have to disappear after years together. They simply need to be nurtured intentionally. Surprise your partner with thoughtful gestures, express appreciation even for the small things, maintain affectionate touch throughout the day, and continue making time for meaningful conversations that have nothing to do with responsibilities or problems. These habits remind your partner that they are still desired, still valued, and still chosen. Lasting passion isn't created by constant excitement. It's sustained by consistency, kindness, emotional presence, and mutual respect. The strongest relationships are often those where both people know they can rely on each other through every season of life. Ironically, that emotional security often makes romance feel more exciting because neither person is wondering where they stand. Instead, they are free to enjoy each other's presence without fear or uncertainty. When trust grows deeper, so does the willingness to be vulnerable, affectionate, playful, and emotionally available. That's where satisfying intimacy truly flourishes, not because either partner is trying to impress the other, but because both feel completely accepted. But if trust creates lasting desire, what are the everyday habits that quietly keep romance alive year after year, instead of allowing it to fade into routine? Small daily habits that strengthen intimacy. The answer is surprisingly simple. The everyday habits you repeat are what determine whether your relationship becomes stronger or slowly drifts into emotional distance. Most couples don't lose their connection because of one major mistake. They lose it because they stop doing the little things that made them fall in love in the first place. Imagine a man who's been with his partner for several years. He works hard, provides for the family, comes home exhausted, eats dinner, scrolls through his phone, and goes to bed believing that simply being present is enough. His partner, on the other hand, isn't looking for perfection. She's longing for connection. She wants him to ask about her day and genuinely listen. She wants him to notice when she's made an effort, to smile when she walks into the room, to reach for her hand while they're watching television, to hug her for no reason at all, and to make her feel like she's still the woman he fell in love with. Those moments may seem insignificant to him, but to her, they are constant reminders that she is still desired, appreciated, and emotionally important. This is where many men underestimate the power they have. Attraction isn't maintained only through appearance or special occasions. It's maintained through consistency. A kiss before leaving the house, a warm embrace after a long day, looking into her eyes instead of your phone when she's speaking, complimenting her without expecting anything in return, laughing together over something silly, continuing to flirt with the woman you're already committed to, instead of assuming romance should naturally take care of itself. These habits create emotional anticipation. They keep affection alive, and that emotional closeness often makes physical intimacy feel more meaningful because it becomes the natural continuation of everything you've shared throughout the day. Think back to the beginning of your relationship. You probably couldn't wait to send that next message or plan your next date. You were intentional because you wanted to make her feel special. The happiest long-term couples never completely stop doing those things. They simply adapt them to the season of life they're in. They understand that love isn't sustained by grand romantic gestures once a year. It's built through hundreds of thoughtful moments that quietly say, "You still matter to me." When those moments become part of your daily relationship, intimacy no longer feels like something that has to be pursued. It becomes something both partners naturally look forward to. But if these small habits can transform an ordinary relationship into an extraordinary one, what is the surprising secret that many couples never discover until it's almost too late? The surprising secret most couples completely overlook. The surprising secret is this: the happiest and most deeply connected couples don't spend their lives chasing passion. They protect it. They understand that intimacy isn't something you accidentally keep. It's something you intentionally preserve. Think about a couple who have been together for 10 or even 20 years. From the outside, people assume they've simply been lucky enough to maintain their connection. But behind closed doors, something very different is happening. They continue choosing each other every single day. They don't wait until they feel distant before investing in their relationship. They nurture it while it's healthy. They recognize when stress, work, family responsibilities, or everyday routines begin stealing the time they once gave so freely to each other. And instead of accepting that as normal, they make a conscious decision to reconnect. That's what many couples overlook. They believe love should always feel effortless. In reality, lasting love grows stronger because both partners remain intentional. A man who understands this doesn't only ask himself, "What can my partner do to make me happier?" He also asks, "What kind of partner am I becoming for the person I love?" That single shift in perspective changes everything. Imagine a husband who notices his wife has seemed emotionally distant for several weeks. Instead of assuming she's no longer interested in him or responding with frustration, he becomes curious. He plans an evening without distractions, puts away his phone, listens without interrupting, makes her feel heard, and reminds her through his words and actions that she still has his full attention. In that moment, he isn't simply solving a problem. He's rebuilding emotional closeness. When people consistently feel emotionally chosen, appreciated, and respected, affection naturally becomes easier to express. The relationship begins feeling exciting again, not because everything is perfect, but because both people know they are valued. This is what many people miss when they think about intimacy. The goal isn't to create a few unforgettable romantic moments each year. The goal is to create a relationship where both partners regularly experience emotional safety, admiration, laughter, affection, and genuine friendship. Those qualities quietly strengthen desire because they remove the emotional barriers that often stand between two people who genuinely love one another. In the end, a healthy and satisfying intimate life is rarely built through grand gestures alone. It's built through thousands of intentional moments that communicate the same message over and over again. I still choose you. I still cherish you. And no matter how much time passes, I never want us to stop growing closer together. The most fulfilling intimate relationships aren't built by chance. They're built through love, trust, communication, and the daily decision to choose each other. If there's one message I hope you take away from this video, it's that emotional connection will always be the strongest foundation for lasting intimacy. Every thoughtful conversation, every act of kindness, and every moment of genuine affection brings you closer to the relationship you both deserve. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you found this video helpful and want more relationship insights that can strengthen your connection, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video.